Okay, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how I make this bowl right here. This was designed on Segment Pro, beautiful software, and I also made a spreadsheet here based on what Segment Pro put out, and so I'll be using this right here when I'm building it to determine what kind of wood to put in what position. There's a little over 10,000 pieces in this project here, so it's going to take me quite a while. The thing that's different about this is I'm using my open segment jig to make a closed segment project, and I will detail some of the tricks that I've figured out along the way. What I need to do before I start a project like that is to cut the wood, the type of woods I'm going to need. This one right here, this is just plain old maple. So I cut them on my bandsaw into thin strips like this. Then what I'll do here is we'll glue the ends all together after they're sanded down to size. When I glue the ends together like this right here, these are all glued together just at the end, and then I'll sand it down for the appropriate width here, and then I will put painter's tape on it. So I cut them. So then you got this and your individual pieces. So we'll do some dry fitting again here. You see that's a little bit tight there, not too bad. But I probably can go out to the 6 inches on this first one here. See how that works out. I need a little bit more space on that one. And that's why I dry fit it, so I don't get a mess there. So I push this out just a little bit to the edge. There we go. Alright, so now it's sitting on the edge. Try that again. Another thing I'll do is on this very first one, I would check a few pieces just to see, because they're not all exactly the same now. Still, it's pretty tight there. So I'm having to push it in. I think it's pushing the other one away here. So I'm going to need to go out just a little bit more. Didn't look like it pushed it. It's pretty tight against the fence there, so maybe I'm okay. When you put glue in there, it helps it slide in too. So now for the rest of them, I put glue on two sides, the bottom and the one side that's going to hit the wood here, not the metal but the wood. So you just kind of hold the one you just put in and slide that in. Not too hard, so it doesn't make the other one slide. It feels good there. So my process just keeps on repeating now, so I won't show you too much more. Till I get to a point where it's important for you, Put glue on two sides, push it in, making sure you don't push the other one. Looking good. And this angle's looking really good too. I'll know after 10 or so if it starts moving on me, but it looks like all the way along it's nice and even without any gaps here. So I may have been lucky here and got the angle right off the bat. We're down to the last piece on this one here, and I think I've got it dialed in pretty nicely now. Because I put the last piece in and I can push that all the way in and it fits. So that's exactly what you want. They seem to be lined up here on top of each other, so just gotta keep doing that. When you run it, I think I've said this before, but your real problem, if you start putting these pieces in there and you have to keep pushing, it's pushing something that's going to be pushing the ones that you just glued, and you just can't do that. So you got to kind of lightly push it in under normal circumstances. This surface has to be perfectly flat, so the next row will be straight up on it, otherwise you get uneven rows. So I'm just putting this ruler on there and putting flashlight to see if there's any light. You don't want to see any light between it. Then when you don't see light, you know it's perfectly flat. That looks good. So I'm sitting at row 51 now, or 52 actually, and gone to the wide pieces now. So it's going to come in real rapidly now. So that's why the longer pieces. I've tooled this off as flat as I can, then I go to sand it when it's turning. One of the things that happens here is the outer part of this is sanded more than the inner part. So what I do here is I go put the lathe on as slow as I can, like that, and then I have my sandpaper on here and I'll do this. So we're doing two movements here, and it reduces the outer being sanded more than the inner part. Just getting started on making the center. It's going to have, like, this has a little outside ring. I'm going to make that. These are all haven't been glued yet. I'm going to use polyurethane glue, and there's 32 all the way around, so 32 spacers, 32 pieces. I'll get that all glued up with polyurethane glue. I don't want to put inject moisture in this. I want for contraction expansion. Anyway, so then once this is dried up, I'm going to use this right here, and then I'm going to put this guy in here. I'll use the lathe, got a little spot for this guy to sit in here, and then this is I'm going to lathe it down. It's going to sit inside of this right here, so that it will just slide right in. I'll glue it in. So this will be sitting in there, this will be sitting in there, and anyway, that's what I'm going to try to do. So next I'm going to glue this guy up. I'm nearing the end. I have 8 more rows to go here. It's getting so tall that I have to stand up here. And a couple lessons I've learned just making this bowl alone, close to 10,000 pieces here. Is now I sort my pieces into 3 different sizes: small, medium, large. And when I say large, I'm talking about the edge here, widest part, how wide that is. So you're normally sitting in the middle there, but sometimes you need a little smaller, sometimes a little bigger. And it's all based on how much resistance the last piece you put in was offering when you put it in. Was it too tight or was it too loose? Too tight, go small; too loose, go big. So the big takeaways: small, medium, large pieces. Don't glue the first or second piece until you know that it's going to fit nicely. If you have to do any adjustments, and then you take the piece out and then you glue it. So. Alright, so I got them cut off. So you see I turn out the bottom and
it's less than 1/16 of an inch left of material, so I like to get as much turned off as I can because the rest I have to clean up by hand here. So anyway, worked out pretty good. The bottom that I'll be putting in here on this is this guy here, so I'll cover up the hole in the bottom.